Hey race fan, before we get into today's video, I just wanted to point out how much I appreciate your support. If you could smash that like button, comment down below, and subscribe. And let me give you a good reason to subscribe. After this normal recap video that we're gonna run today, I'm gonna have a ton of pro footage at the end with just some music overlay because I just think it was cool and I enjoyed hanging out at the pro race. But then later this week, I'm going to create a separate video that compares the race winner of this race that I'm about to show you versus my effort. So Carlos Casali went off the front with one other rider and then ended up attacking that rider with 3 to go and took the W on the day. And I'm gonna compare his data versus my data and see if we can learn some lessons there about joining a break ourselves. All right, so stay tuned for that. That's why it's important that you subscribe. And again, thank you for the support. If you are so inclined, stop by and buy some socks at followhollow.com or some tools at fixthesticks.com and support the channel. Thanks. Hey race fan, Brian Davis races, and you can too. Now really, I mean that, you can too. Now you've seen this whole week, I have not raced like excellently. I'm still charged up to go race bikes. And I think you would be too if you gave it a shot. The first time I ever saw a crit race, I thought, that looks so frightening. If you were to imagine yourself standing over a highway overpass, you have to imagine that there's gonna be a car accident every 5 seconds, right? It just looks so scary from the outside looking in. And that's how crit racing is. It's not that bad once you're in it and experiencing the speed, you know what to do on the turns, everybody's kind of on the same page. If you are thinking, maybe I want to try bike racing, but I'm not sure how to do it, my advice would be to sign up for a race. That's truly it. Just sign up. Everyone starts as a category 5 and then works their way up to a 4, 3, 2, 1 pro. That's how it works. Sign up for a gravel event, sign up for a cyclocross race, whatever it takes. Today, my friends, we are headed to Tosa. Again, it's definitely a new course. Coach Zach was talking me through some of the features that might be present there, so we have a bit of a game plan today. The game plan today is to stay active in the beginning, or stay aware, I should say, in the beginning of the race. And then after that, if it gets halfway, then tuck yourself in. And then with 5 laps to go or so, start to work your way up to the front and play the positioning game the rest of the route. Now, I might change that on the fly if there's an early break that includes some real heavy hitters. I think this week has proven I just can't go with them, so I'm not going to. And then I'm going to tuck in and try to be best of the rest, or close to it, and just take it easy and have fun. This is the last day of the Tour of Americas Dairyland, and I'm excited. Let's go to Tosa and race bike, y'all! Woo! Woo! All right, welcome to downtown Tosa. It's pretty. Made the cut.
Made the cut. Brian Davis races.
Justin Freywick races, and you can too.
Racer from Indy just said hi, so now I got somebody to cheer for in the 2-3s race. I think every corner has a different bar and a different party going on. This is great. Awesome downtown. It's fun to have a community really embrace the bike racing.
I think he's interested in pole.
Here's the course, like this. So we are right here. These boys did not come to mess around. So far everything, the pavement looks beautiful. As long as everything stays dry, life is good. Oh look, sun. Sun!
Keep it up!
This turn has my full attention. To the top of the little kicker. Top of the kicker. It's tricky. There's a little more hill there than I thought. That looks painful. Oh boy. This might be harder than I thought. My friends, this turn right here is really interesting because this is what's going to skinny everything up. And then up the hill is just going to be a battle. So this is why this particular course seems to me to be a game of positioning, because if you're not in a good spot here,
you're going so fast on the backside you can't move up. So the only way to move up is in the start-finish into the headwind, and that's going to hurt. So this is cool course. Don't get me, cool course. Get sweepy and then skinny, and then up you go. I hope I can finish this one. 2-3 race. There's a group of 5 off the front. They're just about to finish.
3 wide across the road. Call it 4. It's 4 down.
All right, race fam, let's get rolling. The final day of Tour of Americas Dairyland, rolling through Tosa Village in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Absolutely phenomenal venue. Instantly my favorite Tour of Americas Dairyland race ever. I love the scene. I love the streets. I love the course. Everything about this thing was just super fun. So on paper, this course looks brutal. Like, I did my course walk and I was like, oh man, I am in trouble. But in reality, it flowed really well for me. That first little chicane corner that we went through skinnied everything up, just like I said in my walk video, and then up the hill was a bit of a battle. And we're going to race for an hour here, so I'm going to skip ahead a few. Obviously, I'm going to let the first lap run, and I'm going to let the last lap run, and then in between I'll show you at least what happened to me during the race. And as I alluded to at the very beginning of the video, I'm going to be doing a totally different video analyzing some numbers between people who performed better than me and where my numbers were. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to be able to check that out. So we're going to look at Carlos, who ended up winning this race, some of his numbers in basic form and then some of my numbers in basic form, and just try to see what those differences might be or what that break looks like. So again, make sure you subscribe. All right, so my plan today was to play a positioning game. After talking to Coach Zach and looking at the course layout on Google Street View, we decided that this would be a game of trying to stay up front, to be not getting what's the word I'm looking for? Why can't I think of it? Yo-yoed, that's it. Why not getting yo-yoed off the back because of the skinny up and then up the hill. We just felt like if you weren't in the top 50% of the field or even 30% of the field, that you were going to suffer every time you went through there, and you're going to waste a lot of watts dealing with closing gaps that you don't need to. And that's exactly what happened to me at the Highlands race with the hill the day before this race that I got dropped in. So I don't want to do that. So my plan today is to do whatever it takes to stay sort of up front and to just be a little bit more aggressive with racing. And what I found is that just breeds a lot more confidence, because that's the game plan, is to stay up front. It's great advice, right? Like, everyone tells you when they're watching a bike race, move up. So it's funny to actually think about doing it, and the results are positive. So move up, I guess, is the point of my story. All right, so now we're going to make some cuts. So the way to pay attention to the cuts is just look at the duration. So now we're 7 minutes into the race, and again, we're racing for an hour. That's the little skinny up, and then up the hill we go. So fields all together, I think still at this point, we're only a couple laps in. Carlos is going to end up breaking away from the group. That might be him leaving right now up the hill, and then the Ryan and Rob White are the White brothers, and you can see the leader's jersey right there is the cow print. I believe that's Rob, and then up the road with Carlos is Ryan, and that's them leaving right there, and then that's his brother doing some blocking. So let's just talk real quick about his blocking. So he came over that hill and took it way wide, like a line that no one would ever take there. And he's not impeding other people, but he's definitely causing some confusion and some, like, what are you doing? And just people messes with the rhythm, right? So that's called blocking. You don't physically get in the way of people, but you just mess with them in what they would normally want to do. And you can see he did it again in that turn there. And it just creates that half pedal stroke, one pedal stroke of hesitation, and that's going to increase the ability for his brother to stay away, or force people to do exactly what you're seeing here, people to come around and burn matches. So we're going to do a little fast forward here just to see how I played this first beginning. So my plan, again, with the positioning thing is like, well, when things started to slow down, that's when I would want to really be thinking about moving up even further, or even taking some wind on the chin
to be in a position that if somebody came around storming around, I'd be able to close that wheel. So that's exactly what happened here. The Texas Roadhouse rider, very, very strong, got second in the race day before, raced in St. Louis and did a solo breakaway that I remember his name. Matt Bole, I believe is how you say his name, or maybe that's not how you say his name, but that's what it looks like when it's spelled out. Anyway, super strong rider. So when they go, I'm in the right spot to be able to sort of at least go with them. Now, I don't want to initiate anything because that was my plan today, is drive to survive. But I right before the race, I thought, if there's one thing that sort of makes sense, then I'll make a big commitment to one move, to try to join one move. I'm not in a physical state to attack myself. I have figured that out throughout the week. But if I could follow a strong move, then I'd be willing to put some cards on the table to make that happen. And that's what happened. So there'll be a move coming up that I do commit to, or was at least in my head I committed to. It didn't really amount to a ton, but it definitely hurt. And then after that, I go back to playing my normal positioning game, waiting toward the end of the race. Okay, so now we're all kind of back together. Yep, we are all back together. So there's been a few people that come up front and pull. There's one person dangling off the front. I think that's one person. I don't remember who that is now. Ooh, sorry. That's okay. Well, one person off the front, and then we're driving a pretty decent pace. And again, I know the rider in front of me has a brother in the brake, so he's not looking to do any work where we're at. In fact, he would be looking to disrupt any amount of speed that we'll be taking. Oh, here it is. Okay, so then he sees Chad Hartley go up the road and is instantly intrigued by that. Now, something happens in here, because when we eventually catch them, I don't know what happened. I don't know how the race leader came back in this scenario, but I missed it in the edit. That's okay. So those two go up the road, and again, I'm just following. I'm not trying to bridge that. I don't really want to bridge that. I just want to follow other people that are willing to put in that work. So Anderson goes up the road. Everybody's quickly on his tail, and he thinks better of it. Like, well, I'm not going to take the whole field up there. So that's that, and that's going to happen a number of more times. And then eventually we do bring that little move back. Oh, okay, so this little move is still up the front. Those two people are still up the front, maybe three. Something happened in between here. Again, I got lost, but I know one person is up. Well, two people are up the road. I'm not quite 100% sure how they got there. All right, so anyway, here's the move that I go. So Bart kicks it into gear, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to follow that. So Bart goes up the road, I go up the road, and this is painful. This is a lot of watts. This is a lot of watts. Bart's kicking my butt, man. Woo, buddy. But look how quick we close that up. Whoop, whoop. There we are. Well, mostly Bart. I'm not there yet. So we're going to need a moment to rest and finish closing. Now, in the meantime, the two riders up here, Chad is still here. See, this is where I get confused. Chad's still here, but I'm not sure where the green and white kit fella came from. I don't know what happened to Rob. I think it's Rob. I don't know where he went, but he's back in the field somehow. So we have this nice gap. Great, cool. And I didn't. It took a lot of effort to get here, but I wasn't the one to eat all the wind to do that, to make that happen. So thanks, Bart. I'm not sure how much energy I saved, because he definitely got a gap on me. And anyway, I'm here now. But here comes the rest of the field. So that's it. So that was my big one move, and now I think, okay, I got to go to the back, rest, and just be done with this element of racing, and just sit in for the end of the race. But I want to stay up front, because I don't want to get yo-yoed off the back. So that's my motivation to continue to try to stay up front. And this race was not as difficult as some of the other races. My normalized power for this race was 291, so it ranks right up there with this was the second hardest race of the week in terms of numbers. But feel was different. So going up this hill over and over again, at about 25 minutes, I thought, I feel really good. This is great. And then it was like the next lap, I felt like, I might not make it. I might not make it. Things are very painful. But eventually, I think, other people are feeling that same way, so it softens a little bit, and I can recover, and then we go around and around again. And you just think to yourself, like, well, 36 minutes. I mean, you're over halfway. I mean, you may as well finish now. You made it this far. So here's another little move again. I'm just going to follow this one. Not going to put in any effort of my own or attack on my own. But this was a big, strong move, and appreciate it. We had a gap. Derek's coming with us, the other ABD rider. Now, he won't pull because he has a teammate up the road, we didn't even have time to figure that out yet, but seeing the footage now, I know that even if this would have continued, we would have been carrying dead weight around with us, the 3 of us plus the ABD rider, which is good. That's what they're supposed to do. They're not supposed to pull through. So I pulled through foolishly. That other rider said we had a gap. I think I kind of looked around. I was like, "Are you sure? Because I don't really see a gap." but you still got a lot of watts out of me to go up there and give it a pull for a minute. So nice work. Okay, a couple more cuts, then we're gonna get to the last lap. And this is pretty much the story of the day. Just trying to stay up front, get ready for something that starts to go faster so I can join in behind it and not have to expel my own energy. So there's Rob back in the field. See, I can't figure out how he got back there. Okay, same thing, last lap. Now we got lucky again because I did get tired in there and I got a little bit further back than I wanted to, but as last lap came, we mushroomed out. This is a headwind into the finish line. It is a very long sprint from the final corner. So you will definitely need a wheel if you're going to sprint well in this finale. All right, so I'm in a pretty decent spot. I do wish I make a tactical error right here. 2 errors. 1, I should have gone around this rider in front of me. I think that's Mike Hagney. I should have gone around him because there was a gap in front of him, and then I could have been up by that pink guy. And then we just don't close hard enough to stay in contention up here. So I have to get on the... See, if I would have got that pink rider, I'd be 5-6 riders up, but I didn't. So now I'm still too far back, right? And I know that, but it is what it is. So I'm thinking to myself, how can I move forward? I want to take the inside of this line because I like the inside of this corner. I think I can carry more speed, but then, whoa, there's Michael Froh. I guess he wanted the inside line more than I did. So that's unfortunate. I really should have closed the door on Michael so he couldn't have done that, and then I would have had a clean shot to catch that rider in red and probably would have gone around him because we're not pushing hard enough. And again, that lesson from St. Louis, if you want to get up further, sometimes you just have to do it yourself. The chances of you finding somebody lucky enough that wants to move up as badly as you do and is willing to put in the effort is few and far between when you get this far back on the last lap. So interestingly, this whole race, people left this passing lane open. Now this is a sheltered side, but people wouldn't close this gap to the gutter. I could never figure out why, but I could pass a ton of people in that area, and I wish I would have hit that harder and then started yelling inside along that gutter, but I didn't. And then on this sprint, I'm thinking, okay, find a wheel. Okay, found a wheel, and that's a good wheel. Again, I think that's Michael Hagney. Very, very strong rider. Put out a lot of watts. I'm in a good spot, and I can get not a lot of watts, but I can get enough to go around. So I think I got 16th place in this race, and I'm pretty happy with that. Not bad. Okay, that's a wrap on the week. Oh, good Lord. Well, today was better than really all week, so I'm happy with that. I just did the whole race strong, smart. My cornering was significantly better today, and I was doing some tactical cornering, putting people in the curb gently, but then they have to expend watts to get out of it. So I guess I learned from what happened to me all week and got a little smart today. All right, race fam, race over. Much less terrible today. It's like golf, like it's an awful sport and it makes you hate everything about it, and then all of a sudden you hit one decent shot and you're like, oh, I can't wait to play golf again. But at least when I used to play golf, and I was always terrible. I'm gonna go find a beer now. I'm gonna drink it, I'm gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be cool. I'll have the heights.
Excellent.
Where can I find your beer?
Right here in Milwaukee, 55th and North.
That's it, huh? All
Yeah.
right, good. Sounds good.
There you are.
What's the name?
Venture.
Cool.
Yeah.
Earned it, race fam. Good week. Lots of fun. Great bunch of guys to race bikes with. Meat. What's for dinner?
Oh, he's gonna get angry.
Great kids race. Now it's time for the pro race. I thought that long about joining the pro race, but I'm just tired, man. Tired.
trouble as Automatic Racing leads the team up the road. He's got to need a little bit of help. They're in trouble now. Make some noise for your number 3. Harris looking back over his shoulder. And he can't like what he's seeing. Automatic Racing and Rock Goodfellow on the front.
The breakaway plays even like 1 or 2 little games. Their goose is cooked. I think that was Project Echelon came around. Phenomenal timing. Well played. 5 porta potties. It's been a good week.